Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. In the previous two videos, we learned about the eightfold path in establishing a true and living connection with God, as described by the Holy Quran and elucidated by the Promised Messiah alayhi salatu wasalam. As usual, the link to the previous video as well as the book under study, The Philosophy of the Teachings of Islam, is given in the description below. In this video, we will remind ourselves of the practical results of following the divine law, i.e. the Sharia or the Holy Quran.
اسمعوا صوت السماء جاء المسيح جاء المسيح.
As mentioned in previous lessons, the practical effect of God's divine law is to enable human beings to rise from a primitive state to a more perfect one. Firstly, by transforming savages into humans and then providing them with high moral qualities and ultimately enabling them to become godly. Now, another effect of the divine law, or a byproduct as you may call it, is that one who truly follows it gradually starts to recognize the rights of his or her fellow beings. He or she then progressively utilizes their faculties for equity, benevolence, and true sympathy in its proper occasions. The Promised Messiah ﷺ beautifully describes the condition of such a person in the following words. He sheds his light like the sun upon the whole of mankind, and like the moon, acquiring light from God, conveys it to others. Being illumined like the day, he shows the paths of virtue and goodness to others, and like the night, he covers up their weaknesses and provides comfort for those who are weary. Like the sky, he provides shelter under his shade for everyone who is in need, and pours down the rain of grace at its proper time. Like the earth, out of utter humility, he becomes like a floor for everyone's comfort, and gathers them close to afford them security, and offers them diverse types of spiritual fruits. Thus, he who adheres to the perfect law discharges his obligations to God and to his fellow creatures to the utmost. He loses himself in God and becomes a true servant of his creatures. This is the effect of the practical ordinances of the law on his life here. Such a transformation in behavior in this world results in a spiritual relationship with God, which is observed in the hereafter as a manifest reality. His Holiness explains that the services rendered to the creatures of God due to love for Him, which was stimulated by one's faith and ardent desire for righteous action, will be manifested as trees and rivers in the hereafter. Another beautiful analogy regarding the condition of such a person is given by His Holiness through the thematic and exegetic translation of Surah Shams, chapter 91 of the Holy Quran, verses 2 to 16, in the following words. We call to witness the sun and its light, and we call to witness the moon when it follows the sun, and obtains its light from it, and conveys it to people. And we call to witness the day when it manifests the light of the sun and shows up the paths. And we call to witness the night when it darkens and envelops everything within itself. And we call to witness the heaven and the purpose for which it has been created. And we call to witness the earth and the purpose for which it has been spread out like a floor. And we call to witness the human soul and its quality which makes it equal to all these other things. That is to say, all those qualities which are found dispersed among the other bodies that have been mentioned are all comprehended in the soul of the perfect man. As these bodies serve man in diverse ways, the perfect man performs all that service by himself. Then he says, that one will be delivered from death, and will attain salvation who purifies his soul. That is to say, who serves God's creatures out of his devotion to God, like the sun and the moon and the earth. Bringing us to the end of today's lesson. As usual, I have linked the previous video as well as the book under study, The Philosophy of the Teachings of Islam, in the description below. Make sure to click the bell icon so you can be notified of future episodes. And please do subscribe, like and share this video so that we can enable more and more people to benefit from the treasures of knowledge left behind by the Promised Messiah alayhi salatu wassalam. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.